broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Kane is in the building.
Waiting for the beat to drop in.
Hey,
what's up, everybody? You're tuned into season 1 of Ballers on HBO. I am your host, Bamm Ericsen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sofia Stanley.
I'm Emile Ennis Jr.
And what's up, everybody? I'm Kennelia. Guys, we want to do a quick read for you guys. Make sure you support Podcast One because we love hearing from you. So keep sending your tweets and comments. We do read every one of them. And don't miss the chance to take our very important listener survey at podcastone.com. Your responses will help us to make this show the very best it can be. It'll only take about 3 minutes of your time, and you'll get the instant gratification that comes with knowing that you helped us out. You can tell us how you really feel about the show and help us get to know you better. Do it now. Take the survey at podcastone.com. That's podcastone.com. And keep those tweets and comments coming.
Thank you. So, the Fab Four is back. How you guys? You guys good? All right, so initial thoughts. What is your take on Ballers? What do you think, Sophia?
You know what? I'm like 50-50. It was entertaining. I actually come from a football family. Not that we play football, but I'd honestly say that football is our favorite sport. My mom is actually the football fan. College, Cornhuskers, Nebraska, Patriots, the whole nine. But there still was a tiny little beat that was off for me. Mm-hmm. So on one level, it was really enjoyable because it seemed very real. It seemed very now and very current. But there was just a little beat that seemed a tad bit off for me.
Emile?
I liked it. I thought that it was smart and funny at the same time. I don't like to judge a pilot just because pilots, I know sometimes they shoot them separately. But I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I think I tend to like all of HBO shows, so I think I'm going to be on board.
Yeah.
I'm all for buff dudes on camera, so I think it was great. I mean, it was good. We're watching it, so, you know. It was. How about you, Bamm?
I'm like you. I could tell it's getting better, but I mean, let's just think about it. You have Brett Slater, who is the producer of it, and you have Peter Berg, and you have Mark Wahlberg, who are the executive producers, and it stars Dwayne Johnson. So it's going to turn up even more, especially with the theme of what's going on. Let's go right into the intro. So Rod Slater is with his side chick Kim. They're driving, and I knew something was up when she says, "I will die for you. I will kill myself." What do you guys think about that opening scene? There's so much. It relates to so much.
Well, as soon as she said, I'd kill myself for you, I yelled out, "Girl, bye." Is that really necessary, ma'am?
Yeah.
Was that really necessary? It was a bit too much, but that's how those chicks are. Football groupies, basketball groupies, hockey, soccer, Major League Baseball. They'll throw it out all on the line for the person that they're with, even if you have a wife. Because we saw, he was talking, he had a wife, LaToya Luckett.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia?
This is going to sound so effing cold. Part of me was like, I
kill yourself?
No, that too. But the funny thing is, I actually knew the crash was coming. I just had a feeling. The way that they were driving the car, I thought there was going to be a crash. I didn't think that the outcome was going to be that they were dead. Mm-hmm. Again, technically, I guess we don't know if she's dead, but we're going to presume that she is as well. But I mean, in the standpoint that, yes, I understand that groupies are going to like give it all up for these football players, but arguably because they allow them to think that, right? Because up until she goes, "Oh, I knew you were never going to leave your wife," didn't you think that was the wife?
When they were in the car together, well, okay, then maybe I'm the asshole. I really thought that there was his wife until he said that, until the wife was brought up. So part of me is like, they're obviously chilling together. The wife obviously knew about her. They have enough of a sufficient relationship where when he said that, he should have turned to her and gone, you know, you're my side piece. I'm never leaving my wife. We just F. This isn't a love thing.
It's too easy. We're men. That's just too easy to say.
I mean, I agree, but that's why I'm a cold whatever. And so when the thing went bam, I was like, yo, you make your bed, you lie in it. Like, you wanna screw around with a crazy who's gonna literally, think about it. She punched him dead in the face. Like, she didn't just be like, oh, I can't believe you're not gonna leave your wife. She took her hand, and I'm presuming we're all adults because HBO was like, what, TVMA?
Yeah.
So I hope you're adults on watching our AfterBuzz show. But she literally took her hand, clutched his balls while he is driving at probably 80 plus miles an hour. Then she basically, as she's holding onto his balls, starts punching him dead in the face.
Yeah. But well, let me say this. The reason that I knew that they were not married is because when she said that comment, he did if that was his wife, he wouldn't have responded the way he did. He was like, oh, you love me, huh? Okay. You kill yourself for me? I knew exactly that he was, I knew exactly that was his side piece.
But I knew it too just because of I mean, I'm not married. I just feel like a wife would be a little more secure, even if her man is cheating. No?
I totally disagree.
Wives are some of the most insecure, especially to professional athletes. They have women from everywhere, any type of women that can get throwing themselves at you. They're gone half of the year. You don't know what they
But I guess I mean the specific type of question she was asking, a wife would kind of know. He loves me, but he's cheating on me.
Well, you know, I'm like you, Sophia. Bye, you're dead. Goodbye. Because I don't think she's dead because I don't believe LaToya Luckett's character is going to be in there for one episode. So it may come back.
So because you think there has to be some drama? And I mean also too, again, kind of I think going back to what we were all saying from the opening, the fact that it feels real. Because what's the football player's name? Steve McNair. Who's the football player who his mistress killed it? It was Steve McNair, right? Who killed it. The mistress killed him, then killed herself.
Yeah.
And basically the wife was totally unaware. And I think it could have been a very similar situation where, and I think this leads into the meat of the show, he left her with nothing. So here you think you are married to a football player and he didn't even leave her life insurance.
Not at all, nothing.
So you need to know that you're sitting in this funeral home trying to honor your husband, and everyone knows he died in the car with his mistress, and you probably have to pay for his funeral for out of what money?
And so now now we're at the funeral. Now Spencer, played by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is now introduced, and so now he is a broke ass.
Oh no, that's not nice. No, keep going. Sorry. That hurt my feelings. I'm sorry.
Okay, introduce Spencer.
I mean, I think that the way that they opened it, where he was obviously replaying either his final hit when he was playing professional football or maybe the most traumatic hit. You kept seeing that hit again and again and again. And what was worse is once you realize that it's possible that the other person who was party to the hit may have never gotten up. Did you notice that? And then I think that's telling, as well as the fact that he's not just popping pills, he's chewing pills.
Yeah,
And I think that we all were astounded by just I think we're all kind of familiar with Dwayne Johnson, but there is definitely something about the way that they shot this scene and the way he got out of bed. His overall physicality, he did very much still look like a football player, but the way that he got up, you could tell that the pain wasn't just physical, the pain was mental.
Yeah.
And there was definitely like a dark moment. And so for me, that's how I was introduced to him. And then to me, on the podium at the funeral, you almost saw a light in him because he was playing football, which is kind of sad.
I thought you were going to say because that girl was like trying to spread her legs on the front row.
That's when he couldn't concentrate. But even that, I mean... Yeah.
Go ahead. Would you?
So, and we find out that he is a money manager. They talked about him losing money in the past. He had a bad financial manager that got away with $800,000. So, to say that he's a broke ass, is he really broke, or did somebody just take advantage of him to the umpteenth power?
Listen,
because you can suck at managing your own money, but it's a different thing if somebody takes it from you.
True. If if I have $100,000, if I lose it because you gave me some crappy deal, or I lost it because whatever, I'm still broke. I have no money. His ATM said insufficient funds. He's broke. He don't have any money.
Okay, I don't think we're disagreeing with you about him being broke. I think we're disagreeing with you in terms of your assessment. Broke somehow kind of connotes or gives the impression that he did something wrong, right? And that it's almost like a character flaw that he's broke, which is different than the fact that he's fallen on hard times and he doesn't have any money. I think that's the difference. I think we were in agreement that he's broke. I think that when you said it, I personally, maybe it's that I'm still like, maybe The Rock, I want him to be my boyfriend, and I'm a dork. But so it hurt my feelings. I'm just keeping it 100. But I think that was what it is. It seemed as if, and we may find out, obviously, as the series goes on, that maybe he did make bad decisions and he lived really fast and had a lot of cars and so forth and so on. But $800,000 to lose cash is a lot of money. Yeah. And again, I think that it shows to the reality of the show, because again, and I don't know why I'm not good with names today, but wasn't it like Kenneth Starr? A couple years ago, I know, because here in Los Angeles and for a lot of celebrities, Kenneth Starr was a really big money manager, and I think he stole like $34 million from people.
He sure did.
Because it's a very intimate relationship. Think about it. It's arguably, it's like your agent, your manager, your talent manager, and then your money manager. Whoever controls your money is someone who presumably is really close with you, given the fact that one of the football players, like his cousin or something, is managing his money. What I kind of hope to see as the story progresses is, why does Spence not want to manage his friends? Right? Like if you were a money manager and you potentially, however you fell into this situation, whether or not you lived hard and partied hard, or another money manager stole your money, wouldn't you want to make sure that your friends don't fall into the same trap? Because he seems trepidatious. Like he seems like he's hesitant.
Well, it doesn't seem like that's on him. Look at who his manager is. It seems like he took on this job because he's good at it. He has the football connections. The manager is the one like, all these people, manage him. Sometimes when you're in that position, you don't want to go after your friends immediately because you want to establish yourself. You don't want to use your connects. That's kind of what I got from it. It's like, I don't want to use my connects. I want to get other clients and then maybe finesse my way into it.
Show them what I can do.
Yeah, but I feel that it's something deeper. There's a specific reason why. For instance, I mean, technically speaking, he was a part of hooking Ricky's deal to get back to play for Miami. So if he is a part of the deal, then.
But he didn't go in with that mindset.
Yeah, he didn't go in with that mindset.
He was just calling in a favor for a friend.
I know, but what I'm saying is that had he did that, he would have been able to have some kind of, he would have been paid out in some way. But the fact that he didn't.
I see where you're going, because even the fact that he was on the phone with someone and someone was like, "Oh, what did you get your agent's license?" and he was like, "No," because on some levels he was stepping into that agent arena, because setting up a meeting for a potential deal is what an agent normally would do. So is that kind of where you're going?
That's exactly.
I see that, because I definitely can see that there's little breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? That they're laying for us in the pilot episode. Yeah. So I think Bamm has a point that he may take a role bigger than simply managing money. He really may become like a deal maker. Is that kind of where you're going with that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then just a side note, I like the correlation of how they use the reality of it. The Rock, Dwayne, before he was injured, he played for, was it University of Miami? And
the Miami Dolphins.
Miami
Dolphins.
Yeah, so I like how they correlate.
Okay, how Ricky's coming back, how he's like, I'm coming back home.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about Ricky. Ricky. Well, Ricky does acknowledge that he's what was the word he used? He called himself, basically, he's not he's a fuck up. He acknowledges that.
I was like, this is it.
And
I don't know what's wrong with me. Why do I like Ricky?
I like Ricky, but I know a lot of people like Ricky, and you acknowledge the fact that you're a fuck up, but you keep fucking up.
But
he was late.
But this is the problem. This is the story of life. You are never going to change your actions if there aren't consequences. So the fact that he was late and he still got on the team, that means he'll be late tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he learned a lesson. All he had to do, and this is going to sound like I'm being flip, and I'm not, but all he had to do is get down and pray and basically be like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry, I messed up." And then he gets a meeting. They're literally like, "Yo, don't mess this up. This guy's a stickler for being late. He was late."
And then all he had to do was basically wait around for 3 hours for them to come back from catching fish, and he's just like, I'm sorry again, and he gets a shot.
But isn't that the rise and fall of most professional athletes, though?
Yeah.
You get
Yep.
everything handed to you. There were never really any consequences, and when it's over, you fall harder than anybody else. Because you no longer have connections. You no longer can get your way. You most likely can't get another job. Your body is messed up. You have concussion issues. You have a brain problem. So isn't that's going to be the consequence for him? Mm-hmm. He's never punished now, but once he gets dropped from the Dolphins, then it's really going to hit him, and he's going to have to pay the price, maybe.
I just don't understand. So he banged that girl in the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. And then the girl that was by his side at home, is that his? Do we know who she is?
That's his girlfriend. She was on End of Watch. So
Just ran it back.
Yeah.
But these groupies, they just stay by these players because
she's not a
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The girl he was banging in the bathroom, she's just.
She was the bottle service girl.
right.
Yeah, but his girlfriend, you can tell she's kind of like the ride or die chick because she's in the meeting, she's giving opinions when he's talking to his manager Jason, and she even stepped in a couple times when she should have shut up. And you know what I'm saying? Like there was one part when she was questioning, well, why have there not been any calls yet? Like, chick, slow down.
But
So
she
you
knows
can tell.
football, though.
I don't care if you know football.
But he obviously needed that because he wasn't going to be able to drop the information on his own. He didn't even know who he was in front of or behind of on in the receivers list.
True. But going back to what you were saying, Emile, I think I don't know if you were alluding to this, but there's a lot of times where football players shoot themselves in the foot. You know, he's banging their girl in the bathroom. You know, they're targets. They're total targets, and he's a hothead. And what do you think about how this rings true to today in 2015, where you literally have people, paparazzi and so forth, where they come for you so that they can...
Okay, see, and this is why I think I like him. And the funny thing is, I'm going to talk out of the complete opposite side of my mouth. I actually don't think he's a hothead. Now, I'm not condoning violence, but the manner in which this stranger stepped up to him and was being so aggressive and disrespectful, when he popped him, I was like, oh, that makes sense to me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if he had been anyone else other than a professional athlete and some random dude was just like, yo, dude, what, you don't think rules apply to you? He was banging a chick in a bathroom at a club. Like, you know what I mean? You're not like at church waiting for the bathroom. You're at a club. Do you know what I mean? So why are you getting so irate? Why are you getting so irate? Because we live in a time now where fans think that they own these athletes. They think that these athletes have gone too big for their britches. That's exactly what they're supposed to be. Like, are you not entertained? So you love when I can like run a ball on the field, or I bounce a ball, but somehow like I'm not allowed to have fun when I'm not actually at work? And you think you as man to man are just gonna come step up to me and be disrespectful and there's no consequences because I'm afraid you're gonna take me to court? No. Because that's all on that dude. And I think that the sad reality is because we live in this Twitter universe where everyone has a phone and things are trending and so forth and so on, and your reputation can be not only advantageous or detrimental to you because you're affiliated with a team, the team can now decide, okay, you're not part of our brand. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, but it's hypocritical. Because let's get real. They're effing gladiators, especially when it comes to football. Does that make sense? It is a sport where... No, seriously. It is a sport where
I'm laughing because you said gladiators.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Stop. Don't let me get off. No. I mean like gladiators. Like, are you not entertained? Rome. You know what I mean? Sparta. But it's like, think about it. You are literally hitting another human being with more impact than if you were hit by a Mack truck. Mm-hmm. So you really think that you're going to have men that amped up and you're going to step to me in a club and I'm not going to do nothing? Do you see how I'm getting amped up? Mm-hmm. Because that's how amped you are when you play football. And I know I've never even played football. I mean like flag football, but you know what I mean. So I actually didn't think he was a hothead. Like, I actually have not seen any behavior to me that is a hothead. Does he seem like he's immature or maybe unprofessional in terms of being late? Yeah. But to me, that interaction at the club, man to man, that made sense to me for him to pop him and drop him.
I took it as a hothead only because of... I believe with it being a pilot episode that they were alluding that he's.
I agree. I mean, I totally agree. But I think I don't know why. I'm riding with Ricky.
Mm-hmm. I do like his character though.
Somehow.
Yeah. And so now he's playing for Miami. do you? Well, we'll go on to predictions. Now let's go into.
Actually, before we do that, I think it's a perfect segue. Kennelia mentioned just kind of like all of the side effects of. You know, the primary one is concussions, and like you have depression, you have anxiety, and another thing you have insomnia. If you guys don't know, I think I'm probably the one over here with ADD. I'm a very hyper person, and part of that is that when I go to sleep at night, my brain doesn't shut off. Right? So I normally, like, I'm that person who's up like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock because my brain just keeps going. And it was funny because one of my friends was like, no, Sophie, it's your mattress. Like, you don't have a good mattress. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, like I have like a mattress I bought for like $200. And like she literally was like, oh, poor Sophie. That's like a crappy ass mattress. So one of the amazing things that we have here at AfterBuzz is that we sometimes are privy to specials, and one of them is a new online retailer for premium mattresses called Casper. Basically, in essence, what they do is they allow you to try out a premium mattress for 100 days free. What? No, seriously. And you're thinking, okay, I have to go to the showroom. You know, when you sit on the beds and you lie down on your clothes when you don't know if everyone else has been lying on those mattresses. No. It's totally like Amazon style. You basically go online, you pick out the mattress that you want, and they ship it to you. It comes to your house, you open it up, and because it is the memory foam as well as latex, it just goes and it gets all big, and you can try it out for 100 days, and if you don't like it, you send it back free, totally free. You don't have to pay anything.
That sounds really good.
That does sound amazing, and it looks like we're going to offer our fans, which is you, a special $50 discount if you use our promo code. All you have to do is go to www.casper.com/AfterBuzz for AfterBuzz, box office breakdown, blah, blah, blah. Once again, that's a special $50 discount just for you if and only use the promo code www.casper.com/AfterBuzz, and tweet us and let you know what you thought of it, because, like Sophie said, don't be intimidated because it comes in the box. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Okay, I do like Ricky, but I also like the Charles character, and let me explain why I like Charles character.
Okay.
I like him on Omar. His real name is Omar, but I like his character because Omar doesn't look like he's old enough to have technically retired or not play football. He's very young. He comes off very young, and I think what they're trying to show is, listen, you could be 22, 23 years old, and football literally comes and goes.
The average career span is what, 4 years?
It's 4 years. Okay. But the fact that he looks young, I think maybe they're trying to prove a point that he only had a couple of years. He played with Ricky with Miami, but he only had a couple of years that he's played, and now boom, he's not playing. He's sitting on the couch with his wife, has no job, nothing, and then the poor thing has to go and get a job working for Chevy.
I love that storyline. I think I like it for many reasons, because I know, if you can't tell if I'm sitting, these guys know I'm tall. Like, I'm 6'3", and my dad, I never played any sports. And everybody's like, oh, you didn't play any sports? I never played any sports.
You're 6'3"?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Ben. They be trying to throw some shade.
I remember the first time when I finally met you, I was like, oh my God, you are tall, but I knew you was 6'3". Anyway, I thought you were 6'2".
Check the driver's license. But I never played any sports. But I think one of the reasons why my parents didn't want me to get into sports and focus on education is because a lot of these athletes, they have the skills and they're great. Some of them go from high school straight into the professional league. Some of them go to college and never finish their degree and do it. I think the reason why I like Charles' story is because you see this player, and it's sad, like, we have The Rock, who's this money manager who needs to manage these players' monies, but a lot of these athletes get these huge deals. They get these endorsements, and then it fades away, and they're left with nothing because they mishandled their money, and they don't have anything to fall back on. They don't have a degree, so you have to get a job like the Chevy dealership. And I think particularly his storyline is going to be interesting to see how he navigates back possibly into the industry, especially since you can say, because there's a lot of athletes who are able to have their career and then they go into TV broadcasting after. But that's only if you're kind of up there. Charles Green, like when he went to the dealership and he tried to get the job, they were like, oh, I don't remember you. Mm-hmm. So if you're not memorable, then what do you do?
Yeah.
And let's keep in mind, a lot of athletes, and especially in football, you don't make your real money after you renegotiate your contract after your first 2 or 3 years in the league. So after you pay out agents, your managers, you pay taxes. Once you give your mama what she wanted, buy her the car that she was asking for the whole time, the truth, you got to pay your little, you put little babies, student loans. You are pretty much left with nothing.
Yeah.
And consider the fact that if you get drafted in like the 6th round, you're really not making any money.
Yeah.
So let's think about how much money he really probably had. He probably didn't have that much.
Yeah.
I can't
Speaking that truth, though.
Yeah.
Speaking that truth. I can't with you.
Damn.
Bam is cracking up. I cannot.
Well, I'll say this. I like the fact that his wife has not dropped him to the curb, being that, she supported him. She's like, okay, listen, I need you to get it. Well, she didn't say it as nice, but she's with him despite his downfall at the moment.
I mean, also, I thought it was really cute how when he was like, yo, why are you always making jokes at my expense? And she was like, because you always play better for a hard-ass coach. So I like that was really her kind of like jabbing him was actually coming from a place of love because that's the world that he knows. So she's just trying to communicate to him in a manner that he's used to and that has been proven to be effective. I don't know if it's going to be important, but I think that you don't leave little nuggets in a 30-minute show on the pilot for nothing. She's a doctor.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah.
So I think that that's also major because presumably also, too, just even like Kennelia said, not every football player who gets drafted or was, on a winning team at school doesn't mean that they were the star. So to me, I'm making like filling in my own holes. She's obviously with him because she loves him. She never got together with him because she thought he was going to be a star. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why we're going to see that their relationship is stable. But again, maybe I'm going to make an early prediction that as he becomes more involved in the sport again from some kind of perspective, then there's going to be a rocky point. Because you see the lifestyle that they live. Can you really live in that fast-paced lifestyle of everyone thinking that you're the shit and not be tempted and really still want to come home kind of to your little sports center and your, little apartment with your gorgeous, smart wife, but still not some easy random groupies. Right. So I feel like that's why they were setting it up like that.
I see that totally.
Yeah.
Any other things before we move on? So now we have Vernon. Now he's a broke ass. Can we agree that Vernon's a broke ass with his whole entire family in the house?
That's how it is.
Yeah,
But I
it is.
You go, Kennelia.
how it is.
Go ahead.
You gotta, like, let's say this dude grew up in the projects. Not saying everybody in the league grew up in the projects, but when you give a man the opportunity to be able to take care of his family, he's going to take care of his family. But his family is then going to expect that you take care of their family, they homies. They gonna want to invite everybody. Remember, he was like, I don't even know who that is in my house because grandma's gonna invite Lucy and Bessie and them over to play.
And Gertrude.
And then your brother's gonna have his baby mama and her homegirls over there cooking. Like it's just that's how it goes.
And not only that, I think it's also too because I think to a lay person, even for instance, if you just say like, let's say I say, okay, I just signed a 4-year deal for $10 million. You think I'm rich.
Yeah, they think you get $10 million right now.
You think I get it right away. And just like Kennelia said, you have managers, you have lawyers, you have agents, you have trainers. You have, again, most of them, because they don't have a good money manager, are paying up the wazoo for taxes. And so theoretically, that money, just like Kennelia said, because you're probably not going to end up being able to re-up, needs to last you forever. So now you have your mom, your sister, your family, and the problem is everyone's looking for a handout like you have $10 million. When presumably for your signing bonus, you only got $1 million. So $1 million off the top, once you probably pay everyone out, that's $300,000.
That's right.
Have y'all, I think I talked to Kennelia about this one time, but have y'all ever had your family members, like, real talk, say, when you make it, when you make it, Bam, when you make it, Sophia, I want you to be, I want to be your so-and-so and so.
Okay, can I say something?
What?
I say that to my sister. I want to be that. I always say to my sister, when she makes it, I'll live in your pool house, and whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And I'll be like perfectly nice and be like, yes, Nadia, no, Nadia, whatever you need, Nadia.
But Sophia, you actually know her. He had people doing that to him and he didn't know.
Yo, I'm fingers crossed. Like, my sister's gonna like.
No, you're gonna make it too. Let's be real.
No, I'll be living in the pool house.
Yes, my family did kind of have that discussion about who was gonna do what, but I shut it down.
I just get quiet.
He should have shut it down. What Marcus? What is his name?
Vernon.
Vernon. I call him Marcus.
I don't know. He looked like
He
he
should have
Marcus.
shut it down then.
But the problem is, it's also, even though what we just said is true in terms of that there are a lot of athletes who are actually taking care of people who are their family or their extended family, it's also ego. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense?
Oh, I got it now.
No, I got it now. Because on some level, it's like, yo, no. Obviously, if I have to call some dude, let's really think about this. I had to call my friend. What's The Rock's character's name? Spence. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Spence actually isn't his money manager. He's just some dude he knows from football in some way. You just gonna call up some dude for $300,000? No, that means you need to minimize your household. You don't need to be living in as big of a house. Like, and I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, you need to turn off some of those lights. You need to turn the pool off. Like, all of those things. Like, if you literally, again, he's not your brother. He doesn't work for you. You don't work for him. You are calling someone just because you guys somehow maybe played football together.
And why?
For $300,000.
He called his agent, though. Remember, he called his agent. He called his agent, and he gave him the money to give to him. He didn't call The Rock's character. He called the manager, and they talked about it amongst themselves.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say, where did the $300,000 come from?
Okay.
It wasn't Spence's money.
No, it wasn't his.
Oh, because I was gonna say that explains why he had insufficient funds.
Oh, okay, then I missed that. That's what I thought it was too. Oh my God, I missed that.
But again, he helped out Ricky. He helped out Vernon. I am excited to see why is he helping these cats out.
Maybe he's the sports fixer. Maybe that's just what he is.
And he probably sees we don't know much about his character, but he probably sees a little bit of himself in each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He doesn't want them to make the same mistakes, so.
But again, I don't know. There is something, and I guess this is my thing, is I'm not riding with Vernon because the quickness with which he took the check and then wouldn't even
shake his hand.
Granted, shaking his hand would have been making a deal that guy that
Spencer.
Thank you. Spence would be his money manager, but it still seemed very disrespectful. And again, it seemed like you're so used to getting that type of money that you didn't even appreciate it. I don't care who it's coming from. I don't care if it's coming from the agent or whatever. The fact that this man brought you a check for $300,000 and you didn't even say thank you or basically be like, yo, dude, you want to come in for a drink?
Give me a hug or something for that money.
That seemed disrespectful.
But it also goes to show, I don't really think people understand how a person can change or enhance certain similarities that they already have before becoming famous or having money or having things at your disposal. I mean, listen, when you are a football player, you know, you have all these things at your disposal. You can go to the club. You got these bad bitches. Their minds become bigger than what it is. So I can understand how they get caught up into all of this, despite that it happens literally decade after decade. You can go through the 80s to see the broke athletes, to the 90s. It happens, but I don't really think people understand what all is at them.
You know, I 100% agree with you. The only reason, and this is going to sound rude, if he had that same interaction with his agent, wouldn't have bothered me. If he had the same interaction with, and I'm just going to call him The Rock for right now until I remember his name, Spence. If he did that to The Rock's boss, that would make sense to me. But to me, it is obvious that they have to have some kind of either a personal or professional relationship, right? So to me, it was a fellow football player giving me the check for $300,000. So we in this together. Does that make sense? So star to star, you're not any better or bigger than me. So I think that kind of puts you more on par and man to man. And simply man to man, you don't even say thank you, like a real hearty thank you.
Yeah.
No, that shows your character. Irregardless of all the hoopla and the lights, because I think that on some level, that's just magnifying who you are. The other BS, like because you do have concussions and anxiety and depression, whatever, I think as the show goes on, we'll talk about that. I think that is very real, let alone I think that people underestimate or minimize how hard especially football players work. So I think that a lot of times people are so easy to be like, I don't understand why they make so much money and they're out in the club and so forth and so on. Well, you don't really make any money and you're out in the club. I mean, I'm out in the club, so why can't they be out in the club? You know what I mean?
That was very good.
But I think that people forget how hard they work, you know what I mean, from the time that they're probably like 5. Like even there's this other show, it's like not Little Tykes, but it's like, it's a TV show about little kids, like 5-year-old, 6-year-old, I think in like Texas, in like the Pee Wee League of Football.
you watch how hard these kids work to potentially have the shot that we're seeing on TV. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that's a work ethic that I think that people don't give athletes, but in particular football players, enough credit for. So yes, I feel you, but to me, this is setting up Vern. No, he's a little. I was gonna curse. I'm trying not to.
Before we go into cold piece and predictions, anything else?
No. I'm excited though.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited. And the only other thing too, and you mentioned at the top of the show, when I originally saw the trailer, I definitely was like, oh my God, this is kind of like a new Entourage with like a different twist to it. And then when I saw Mark Wahlberg, I was like, oh, duh.
And Peter Berg. So,
Yeah.
So, okay, so now let's go into cold piece. If you're not familiar with any of the shows that we've done before, Miss Kennelia will break what a cold piece is.
Cold piece is basically an award that I give every episode that goes to someone who did something extremely cold, whether it be good or bad. It could be cold in a good way, like when your mom was like, oh girl, that's cold. Or it can be you literally having a straight cold heart. This week, cold piece of the week for Ballers, episode 1 of season 1 goes to whoever that was on the phone whose name was Jamarcus. He said, man, you gotta have, his life has to be hard. He has a name like Jamarcus, and I agree. I completely agree. Shout out to all the Jamarcuses that are listening. Daquan Dre's, Trey Dre, Shane, or whatever. It's tough. My name is Kennelia. I totally understand. But cold piece goes to you, my friend, for navigating through these streets with a name like Marcus. In front of Marcus could have just been straight Marcus. So, let us know who you think should get the award for cold piece of the week. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook using hashtag cold piece.
That was good. Give me let's go into predictions, please.
I can't remember.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I don't have any predictions. I mean, I'm just here for the ride.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be a good show.
Yep.
I want to say I'm here for the ride, but I always have predictions. The popping the pills twice in one episode, chewing them, it's definitely going to come and bite him in the ass. There's definitely going to be a split with Vernon and his wife, and someone by the end of the season is going to commit suicide.
Oh, I do have a prediction. I think this show will address the whole concussion issue going on in the NFL, and I hope they do because it needs to be addressed.
I think we're going to see Ricky continue to fuck up until he literally gets cut again. Probably, I think he won't be on the Dolphins very long. He'll have some kind of, because they focused on him out of all the characters outside of Spencer. So I think he's really driving the ball. Or running the ball per se, literally. So I think we're gonna see him spiral. And versus Vernon, Charles, who's having issues with the wife.
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm still getting the names right.
I think that because I can't see him getting beside himself because he's a fucking worker at Chevy. I think maybe he will potentially. That will get his confidence to play ball again, and then that's where the problems will happen with he and his wife. But as a Chevy, I don't know. But yeah. All right, is that it? All right, so let everyone know where we could be found on social media before we go.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Kennelia.
At Emile Ennis Jr. and on YouTube, Chasing LA.
At Sofia Stanley, Twitter and Facebook, at the Sofia Stanley on Instagram. And if you enjoy talking to us and you guys kind of feel like you need a little bit more during the week, make sure to check us out on our podcast, Happy Hour, a shot of conversation, at happyhour_TV.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to Baller Season 1 for AfterBuzz TV. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.